Welcome to the Museum of South Texas History's Museum Pláticas. This is the second edition that we will do. We did one last month, and we're very happy with community response to news from the museum, but also to we were very happy with the conversations we had last month. This month, in this May of 2021, we will feature three different broad ideas. The first is that we will focus on Memorial Day and what it is that we have in the museum archives and collections that is relative to Memorial Day. The second issue that we'll discuss today is Summer Nights at the Museum. And so it is a program that is very popular with children and with the community. And so we have that coming up in June and July of this summer. And the third segment in today's show will be René's Reading Ranch. And so we have a staff member, René Ballesteros, who will do a reading about one of the books that we feature here at our museum. And so when we come back, we will enter a conversation on Memorial Day. Thank you for joining us at the Museum Pláticas of the Museum of South Texas History. Okay, welcome back to our friends from across the world, I think, because we are on the internet through a social media and that sort of thing. And so, Kelly, I would like to welcome you to the show. This is Kelly Francis Love, and she is the archivist of the Museum of South Texas History. And so, Kelly, as you and I engage in this conversation here, I would like to set it up by just by saying that Memorial Day is actually coming up here in the next few days. Memorial Day will be on the 30th, I think. Is it the 30th of May?
I think so.
And so it's a national holiday that has been in existence since right after the Civil War, so that we're looking at 150 years old as a national holiday. We want to talk about Memorial Day because we believe that it is such an important and pertinent holiday to people in South Texas. And one of the truths about South Texas that we absolutely know is that people here in our communities along the border are intensely patriotic. They love their country, they love their family, they love their children. We love our country, love our family, love our children. And at the Museum of South Texas History, we have evidence of how we have, I think not only taken care of, documents of some of the people that we've lost, who have been killed in battle, but we also have documents of families and how they think about those kinds of things. And so, Kelly, if you can help us understand and if you can share with the public what it is that we have that is very pertinent to Memorial Day here in our museum.
Okay. So the first person that we're going to talk about is an African American, Jacob White, and he served in the U.S. Army Veterinary Corps during World War II. And Jacob White, unfortunately, was diagnosed with cancer while he was serving, and he ended up passing away of his cancer when he was only 21 years old in the hospital. So he did not serve in action for very long, unfortunately, but we do know that, he served proudly. And we know this because we have an oral history. Actually, we have two oral histories with his brother Lincoln White in our archives.
What we know about Jacob White, Kelly, is that not only was he a member of the Edinburgh community, but he was also a member of the African American community in Edinburgh. And so Jacob White is actually, he's buried at a part of the Hillcrest Memorial Cemetery that is called Reslawn, which was the segregated part of the cemetery for African American people. So we have Jacob White, and who else do we have?
We also have Nolan Simmons, which we just found out earlier this week that he went to school with our development officer, Lynn Beeching's brother. He went to Edinburgh High School. He served in Vietnam, and he was killed in action in 1968, February 6th, 1968. He was a Marine, and he was just a few days shy of his 20th birthday when he was killed. We have photos of Nolan in the archives, and we have documents. He was posthumously awarded the Purple Heart, just like Freddie Gonzalez was, and so we have his Purple Heart certificate. We have a few other certificates. We have his high school diploma, those kinds of things.
So, one of the stories about Nolan Simmons, who graduated from Edinburgh High School it would have been maybe I could be getting this wrong, but maybe 1966?
It was 67, actually.
67.
He graduated, and then 2 weeks later was accepted into the Marines.
So there's a province in South Vietnam named Quang Nam, which is about maybe 60 miles south of Hue City, the imperial city. And so the next person I think that you're going to talk about is Freddie Gonzalez, who is a famous,
Yes.
heroic kind of character in American history, also from Edinburgh class of 1965. Freddie Gonzalez was killed during the Battle of Hue City during the Tet Offensive on February 4th, 1968. 60 miles south, Nolan Simmons was killed 2 days later.
Yes. Yes. And so Freddie is the last person we're going to talk about. And we do talk about Freddie a lot, and he deserves it. He obviously was a hero. He does deserve it. But we wanted to make sure we talked about some of the other people that we maybe don't talk about as much, which is why we went to talk about Jacob and Nolan as well. Freddie, we do have a very large collection of items. We have a close relationship with his mother, Dolia, as you know. So she has, over the years, donated several things to us. He was awarded a Purple Heart. He was awarded a Congressional Medal of Honor. We have his medals as well as the certificates. We have his uniform. We have several pictures. And then just last summer, we received a donation of the letters that he had written home to Dolia when he was serving in Vietnam.
The letters of Freddie Gonzalez, I think, as a whole, and even when you take one letter or two or three letters, are such emotional testaments to the love of a son, for his mother. And so, they had such a tight bond and tight relationship. And so we have about 150 letters that you just referenced. But Freddie was a prolific letter writer. He wrote letters to so many people. And so this is interesting. So we'll say to the community, if you're watching now or if you see the recording, and if you know of someone that Freddie was writing to, you may have letters in your family that Freddie Gonzalez wrote. And so there's Margaret, there's Delia, there's Shorty, there's, so many people that Freddie wrote letters to. So by our estimate, Freddie probably penned about 500 letters during his time during the first tour of duty and his second tour of duty in Vietnam. So he was quite extraordinary. Freddie Gonzalez is really, really extraordinary. There's also, Kelly, Dustin Michael Sekula, who we want to also recognize. And so
Yes.
while we may not have much of Dustin, but we know that our good partner, the library, the Dustin Michael Sekula Memorial Library here in the city of Edinburgh, does a lot to really recognize him. But like Dustin and like Freddie and like Nolan and like Jacob, all of these people are real life people who were in this community, but they're also symbols of what this region is all about. I tell the story sometimes of how I grew up in Elsa, just down the road. Elsa has 5 streets named after Vietnam veterans who lost their lives during the Vietnam War. And so that's just Elsa. You can imagine, Colonel Rowan McCallan and so many other people across the South Texas region who also need to be memorialized. And so this is part of what we're doing today.
Yes, that's why we're here today. And, we can only talk about the people whose information we have. So if anybody out there has anything about a military family member, relative, friends that you would like to donate to the museum, please contact us. We'd be more than happy to have it. As for the materials about Freddie and Nolan, we are going to post those on social media this weekend. So they will be available on our online digital collection for people to view. And then you can always view the Freddie Gonzalez exhibit here at the museum as well.
That's terrific. Thank you so much, Kelly. Just to kind of give ourselves some context. On the 23rd of May, this past Sunday, Freddie would have turned 75. Can you imagine that? That 75 is still somebody who's got a lot of life left.
Yes,
And
and
so-
he did have a lot of life left. In fact, I've been entering his letters into the online database so we can publish them this weekend. And I just did one before I left here about how he was talking about his girlfriend and how he hoped all their dreams come true. And it breaks your heart to read those things, knowing that they didn't, unfortunately.
Kelly, thank you so much for your contribution today.
Thank
And-
you for having me.
When we come back, we will have a conversation on summer nights at the museum. Okay, welcome back, friends of the Museum of South Texas History. I have to tell you that I was so moved by that exchange with Kelly Francis Love about Memorial Day and some of the letters and other kinds of artifacts that we have here about veterans who have given their life, for country really, and family and community and that sort of thing. So we have a very exciting set of programs that fall under the kind of the umbrella of summer nights at the museum. And so today I'm going to have a conversation with Anna in this segment. And so Anna will introduce herself shortly. But I want to just set it up, Anna, by saying that this program is very interactive. It's very child friendly, and it's also very family friendly. So first introduce yourself, Anna. Tell the community who you are And also talk about how you got to this museum, how long you've been around, and then move right into a discussion on summer nights at the museum.
Of course. Thank you. Well, I'm Ana Garrigós-Hervert. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist here at the museum. I've been volunteering with the museum since 2018, but I came into this position in January of this year. And what I do in this position is part of the community engagement team, and we are a pretty big team. We have our docents, and we have our director, Rene Ballesteros. And my role is to manage some of our programming, most of our programming, really. So I'm in charge of our Sunday speaker series and summer nights, and going forward, we have Dia de los Muertos in, later in the year, things like that. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time working with the museum. And
a couple of things you said there that strikes me as a little bit curious. You said the word docent.
Yes.
And so for people who may not know what a docent is, if you can explain what a docent is, the function of a docent in a museum, and also about when you say we have a pretty good sized team, how many people are you talking about here?
yes, so docents are the purveyors of knowledge. They are our gallery hosts here. And without them, I don't think we would have such successful events. And
they tend to be young, right?
Yes.
I mean, not all of them, but that they tend to be, college students or, young people, maybe 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds,
yes,
who often lead in the tours. When school children come, the docents are leading the tours.
yes, correct. I myself used to be a docent actually before I came into this position, but I feel like the docents are really valuable, and they really make our events. And our team is about 16 docents, I believe. So yeah, it's a pretty big team, and I think I definitely want to include them when I talk about our community engagement and how we make that relationship with the community possible through our team members.
So summer nights at the museum. So this already has an established history here. This program, I think you mentioned, it was founded sometime around 1910. 2010. We're a history museum, but that 1910 jail is another thing.
Yes.
But in 2010, roughly, as a way to really encourage children and families to come out during different times.
Yeah, so
it may be also inspired by that movie, what was the name of that movie?
Summer Nights at the Museum.
Summer Nights at the
Or no,
Museum.
sorry, Night at the Museum.
Night at
is
the
what I'm
Museum.
saying, Yeah.
So talk about that and what it's going to be like this summer.
Well, yeah, so it's a decade-long program, and we usually have sort of like a scavenger hunt set up. So we have all these different activities that are themed to each of our galleries, and each night, there's 3 nights, right? Each night is a different gallery. So it's our River Frontier, River Highway, and our River Crossroads galleries. And we have, history-themed events. We have these hands-on activities, we have living history, we have, our costumed characters, our docents are, dressed up to the eras. And I feel like I know it's a family favorite for sure. It's a bit of a family adventure. And each night we also do a drawing. So if you complete, a certain amount of activities, then you get put into like a raffle, right, for a grand prize every night. Or a prize every night, and then if you go to the 3 nights that we have, then you get drawn into the grand prize drawing. So if you want to actually do that, I recommend that you get a friendship. That's like a great way to get your family in, save a penny sort of deal, and also you get to go into all of our events, for free, right, with your covered annual admission. But yeah, so each night is going to have that, and we're also going to have puppet shows. And we actually have...
Puppet? Did you say puppet?
Yes, we have puppet shows. So we actually have a special guest with us today from our newest puppet shows that we have. So, Tex?
That's right. Did someone say my name? Hey, Anna. It's my friend Anna. Hey, who are you?
Oh, what? Francisco is my name. And your name is, did you say Tex?
Yes.
Tex, do you bite?
Oh, no, only sometimes.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
But I wanted to invite everybody to my special puppet show called On the Great Western Trail. Have you seen it before?
I have not.
Well, you got to come out to the second summer nights because that's when we're featuring my story of going up the Great Western Trail. Right, Anna?
Yes, that's right, Tex.
Wow. Hey, Tex, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you a Longhorn?
Are these horns long or short?
I don't know. Are they long, Anna?
Relative to us,
They look long. They're longer than. Yep, they look long to me. And yes, I am a Longhorn. My name is Tex Hardy. Obviously, I'm Texan too.
Hey, Tex, another question.
Yeah.
Have you done this before?
Done what?
The summer nights at the museum thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite events at the museum throughout the year. I get to see all types of people, tell my story, and have a lot of fun.
And so how do kids react to you or respond to you?
Oh, kids are great. They love talking to me, and I love telling all these great things about living on the cattle trail.
All right. Well, Tex, hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Yes, let's go orange.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tex. So, Anna,
Bye.
is there any last information that you want to share, specifics? I think you
Yes.
mentioned already, but maybe
The-
you can reiterate dates and times.
Definitely. The dates are June 10th, June 24th, and July 8th. These are extended hours for the museum, so it's from 6 to 9. If you want to pre-purchase your tickets, you can visit mosthistory.org to get more information on our tickets and admission pricing. Or you could text tickets to 956-300-4999.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks so much. And thanks for not only the creation of the 2021 Summer Nights at the Museum and your participation with it with a team, obviously, but also for all your work and for coming out here and telling the community what this thing is about.
Thank you.
Okay. When we come back, we have René's Reading Ranch. And so René has kind of an odd voice. I think you're going to be able to tell. But René will read from a book that we've identified that we actually have in our bookstore. And so I think as part of, telling the story of what we have at the museum, we want people to pay attention to what we have in the bookstore because our book collection is actually quite unique.
We don't have this in our bookstore, but we are featuring it because we do have a Sunday speaker series coming up this Sunday, actually, that's going to feature the author.
So this one book, which is entitled, what's the title of this book that René will be reading from?
With the River on Our Face.
Okay, and that is a book authored by Emmy Perez.
Correct, yes.
Who's actually the poet laureate of the state of Texas. So while we don't have that book in our bookstore, I thought that we did. Emmy will be on our Sunday Speaker Series this Sunday at 2, along with other authors. And but we do have a lot of other books at the bookstore that we want you to come and look at and hopefully buy and make part of your understanding of South Texas history. So when we come back, we will have René do a reading. Thank you, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi everybody. Welcome y bienvenidos to René's Reading Ranch. My name is René, and I will be hosting this monthly segment where we feature books that can be found either in the museum bookstore or are going to be featured in upcoming programs. Now, our museum store is open the same time as our museum, Tuesday through Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday from 1 to 5. We accept cash and cards, and if you're a friend of the museum, you also get 10% off of your museum purchase. Now, this month's book is called With the River on Our Face. It's an anthology of poems by Emi Perez. Emi Perez is the 2020 Texas Poet Laureate for the state of Texas. And something exciting and special is that she will be featured in our Sunday Speaker Series online panel this Sunday, May 30th at 2 p.m. You can see that here on the museum's Facebook Live page. And it's not just going to be Emi Perez, she's also going to be joined by two other local poets, Dr. Margot Tamés and Cesar de Leon, both of whom have new publications to be set this year. So, as part of René's Reading Ranch, we always read a passage from our books. I chose the passage from the end passage from With the River on Our Face. This is the title poem for Emi Perez's book. So without further ado, let me read that. A daughter and mother want their ashes scattered at Boca Chica, the river's mouth, the end, the start, another source, crabs collapsing into bullets bursting out of holes, carrizo, bougainvillea, seeds, petals, paper, rose, raspas, the mouth, the eddies, the tributaries, the flow, Rio Conchos de Mexico, the snow, granizo, the pelts, the sources rising. The confluence of people and God, tortugas, ribbon snakes in Roma, pigs and piglets jumping from banks with the river on their face. You can hear roosters crowing across the water in Miguel Alemán. Hurricanes disturb unsettled graves with the river on her face. You said you don't want archaic chains lowering you loudly with obvious labor 6 feet in. You want to hear the cool chachalacas with the river on their legs, flapping from ébano to ébano. El chalan, the ropes, the pull, over green water, under blue sky, to Díaz Ordaz. I want to hear parrots, sable palms, try again, with the river on our face. I want no medicine, no ambition with the river in my face. I used to love you with the river on my face. I still love you with the river on my face. I made a foot-deep grave with the river on my face. I loved other rivers with the Rio Grande Bravo on my face. I want to Oxbow Lake, in this place where children still speak and lose multiple tongues. In this place where we still lose and grow forked tongues. This place where white herons hunt and drink in resacas. This place with the Rio Grande Bravo in its pipes, in its lungs, in our face. That was a passage from With the River on Our Face, which will be featured. Emi Perez will be featured this Sunday at our Sunday Speaker Series online. And this is just one of the ways that we connect with the past and our environment here at the Museum of South Texas History. Thank you for visiting René's Reading Ranch. Until next time, siguen leyendo, and we'll see you all.